Hey guys, we're back with another Handle with Care podcast. I'm Kamori Davis,
And I'm Sterling Atkins Dutro.
and today we are here with Ruth Lyons, a teacher assistant at Andy Jo Gordon.
I am Ruth Lyons. I am a teacher's assistant as well as a family liaison over at Andy Jo Gordon.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
If you don't mind, we'll go ahead and get straight into the questions, have a conversation.
Let's get this party started.
Awesome. All right. First question is, what motivates you to go above and beyond for students?
Several someones showed up for me when I was in school. You guys might be a little too young to remember Catherine Timms, Audrey Gibson.
Audrey Gibson sounds familiar. Sharon Cruz is my grandma.
That's my rock.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I go to her house every other day to help her with whatever she needs. That is crazy that you said that. Oh my goodness. I'm like in awe right now.
When you talk to her, you mention Ruth Lyons and see what she says.
I will.
Those three I thank God for.
That is amazing.
Every single day they showed up for me. It's my turn now. So that's why I'm over at Andy Jo Gordon doing my best to make sure our children keep going a little further.
How did they show up for you specifically?
It's so many different times. I was a troublesome kid, very ornery, very sassy, but I had parents who didn't tolerate it. The truth of the matter is all they had to do was make that phone call home, and it would get handled quickly. As a family liaison, I try to get to know the parents to create that bond between school and family, because I had that, and I think that is very important to build that trust. You know, we're talking about families dropping off their children for 7 hours with you. They want to make sure that their kids are all right. So that's what we try to do in terms of building that trust bond between the school as well as in the family.
Awesome. I really like how you said that you give them the opportunity to correct their behavior before you just go straight to calling home, because then it's like they have the opportunity to, hey, maybe I need to stop doing this before it's just a straight call home.
I find myself in a position to be that individual in between administration and the child. If I can fix what is broken, then we killed two birds with one stone, basically.
Exactly.
I have to get this problem solved so we can get you back on track, to get you back to where you need to be.
We know not everyone has that support at home, so how do you help those who need that support?
It's actually really about listening. You know, a lot of times we have no idea what that student has seen the night before. The expectation is once that child comes into the school, we expect them to be ready. But yet we have no idea of what has happened last night.
Exactly.
Right? We want you to be focused, but if you've seen some things that are not normal, it's kind of hard for you to get focused. So if it means we have to walk around the school for 5 minutes to get you back to where you need to be, or make that adjustment of whatever it is, then so let it be. Whatever it takes. I keep a bag of tricks, and what doesn't work today goes back in the bag because I'm going to use it again. And I try something else. Every child is different. So we have to find what works right here, right now for this child.
Exactly.
Right?
I think it's crucial to keep a trauma-informed lens when looking at situations, because you really don't know what they saw the night before, what happened the night before, and what energy they're bringing to school isn't to be defiant per se, to interrupt the class. It might be because of what happened. They don't have a support system at home, and so they don't react in the way that the teachers may want them to.
Exactly. But I think that once you allow, even as adults, when we find somebody that we think we can trust, we kind of open up. So kids are always looking for trust. And when they find that person, they cling to that person. They find comfort in that person. and it opens up the playing field just a little more. Right?
Exactly.
And the goal is, once again, is to get the kid to a place where, and when you do good, you feel good, right?
Yes.
So if we can get that child or that student in that spot, it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Exactly.
Right.
It's important for students to have that support basis
Yes.
and have someone behind them that's pushing them to go forward, that believes in them, that they can put their trust in. It only takes one person that they can trust, that they know is going to be there for them no matter what. Because it gives them a different type of feeling versus
That's right.
feeling like the whole school or everyone in administration is against them.
That's right.
So when they have that support backboard, it prompts a different behavior, I think.
I agree. I agree. So if that one person can make that one child feel pretty darn good, imagine if you had more than that one. So that's the goal. You know, Miss Lyons is going to try and make this child feel worth it, worthy of whatever it is.
Exactly.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to set you up for failure. I'm going to serve it to you old school and then as best as I can give it to you. And if I can, I'll walk with you through it till we get to a place where you're okay. Because remember, there's another kid right around the corner waiting on you.
There was something you just said that I wanted to touch back on. Being real is important. They know that they can trust whatever you're telling them.
Can you recall or provide a time when you provided support to a student?
How many times? You know, being a part of the support staff at Annie Jo Gordon, you encounter different children with conflict on a daily basis. There was one child who mom and dad were going through a divorce. To be totally honest, these children had never had problems that I'm aware of, no write-ups, not ever in the office. Every day you saw them down the halls, they're speaking mannerably, cordially, just the whole 9 yards. It's 3 sisters, and one day I saw one of the sisters just crying, sobbing. When I asked what was the matter, she didn't want to talk about it, you know. Asked her, will she just walk with me? And you don't have to talk about it. So as we began to walk, she began to talk to me. Mom and dad are going through a divorce, and she felt like she had to pick sides. I think we walked probably about 10 or 15 minutes, but I think that was probably the best 15 minutes of my life. Just letting her vent and tell me what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what can we do differently. We did get her back to a space where she could get into class and proceed with class because she wasn't doing anything. She had her head down, couldn't stop crying, but we did get her back. Mom and Dad says she's doing really good today. And this was a year ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's so crucial for them to be able to vent and get it off their chest to someone that they trust so that it's not all just being pent
Bottled
up
up.
inside
Yeah.
them.
Yes. You'll explode if you don't.
And the biggest part in that situation was to let her know you didn't cause this. This is grown folk doing what grown folk do. I know that when I talk to both of them, you are loved without conditions, but this is not your baggage, little girl, to carry. This is mom and dad's. And even if they're not in the same household, you still love dad, you still love mom, and we're going to be okay. I promise you. She come back and told me she felt better just by talking. So sometimes that 5 minutes or 10 minutes even to let a child vent can just either make or break a situation.
Yes,
Right?
most definitely.
It goes a long way.
Right.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
Learn to listen more. No, because the truth of the matter, I was a know-it-all. I wanted to be grown so bad, right? And I'm a kid, but couldn't wait to get grown.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know the responsibility that came with being grown. I didn't understand the bills you have to pay and the orders and commands that you have to take, right? But I wouldn't change any of it for the world, because every single bit of it has made me who and what I am today. And my parents, thank God, I had married parents living in the same household. And they always taught us that God was first, family was second, community was third, and then whatever came after that was all right.
Oh, that's
That's
nice.
amazing.
Yeah.
So I live that on a daily basis. Because when my community is not okay, I'm not okay.
That's right. Lastly, is there anything else you want to add, you want to share?
I just want to tell you all thank you for the opportunity.
Of course.
Oh, thank you.
I am so grateful to be in the position I am. So once again, thank you for this opportunity.
No, thank you for
thank
being
you.
here. It really means a lot.
Yes, it really does.
And make sure you tell your grandma.
Oh, I will. That I'm beelining it
just-
to her house
just-
straight after school.
Oh, she's not going to forget Ruth
No.
Lyons. I gave her too much trouble. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Exactly.
She is one of my biggest inspirations. You didn't recognize strength of a woman until I got grown and began to look back. Powerful lady. And I am so blessed and so fortunate to have them in my life.
Well, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being on our podcast today. It means a lot.
It really does.
Thank you for listening to the Handle with Care podcast. We hope this episode gave you a better understanding of what students and staff may be going through and ways to support them. Remember, you never know what the person next to you is going through. If this episode resonated with you and you need resources but are not quite sure where to find them, they are located on the same page as the podcast.